bad policies have consequences. Did you know, Tom, what city in America, across the board, if you look at income, $5,000 to $10,000 income range, then $10,000 to $20,000 cohort, 20 to 30, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, all the way down to, to 200,000 plus. Which city has the most 200,000 plus earners in America? Which city? Do you know? Because we talked about it. So I don't want you
you're
to
saying annual income?
Annual income. Which city has the most $200,000 earners?
I have 2 cities that come to
Go
mind.
for it.
You want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Well, 3 cities that come to mind. I got New York, I've got D.C., and I've got San Francisco.
So it's D.C., okay? And by the way, and it's not even close, okay? Now, do you know what is the number one sector in D.C. that pays that kind of salary?
Lobbyists.
Public administration. These are the types of jobs that they have.
Downtown.
By the way, do you know what city in America is highest in crime today? Not even close.
It's probably D.C. as well.
Do you know what city in America?
I'm 3 for 3, guys.
Do you know what city in America is the highest in homelessness per 1,000 people?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say D.C. as well.
Do you know what city in America is number one in larceny?
D.C.?
Do you know what city in America is number one in burglary?
Is it D.C.?
Do you know what city in number one is in robbery?
I'll take D.C. for 200.
Do you know what city? I can keep going on and on and on and on. In every possible way, D.C. is number one. And by the way, here's a crazy stat about D.C. Do you know since 1975, when D.C. became a district and they started having mayors, do you know how many times D.C. has had a Republican mayor since 1975? How many times do you think since 1975?
Since 0?
Since 1975. That's 50 years. How many times do you think?
1.
Never. Have they had a single Democratic mayor. Ever. Never. Not maybe once, not twice. They've never had it. So what does it tell you? Terrible policies. So people don't want to move their companies over there. They just don't. And by the way, you know what community DC has been the worst to over the years? Black community, okay? Horrible. If you go a little lower on this article, Rob, go a little lower on this article on Valuetainment.com. Go a little lower. If you look at the numbers, go lower. Look at that one right there. 1985, the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986. They created a law that was 100 to 1 crack cocaine disparity, which meant that a person that got caught with crack cocaine would receive a sentence that was 100 times longer than a person that got caught with the same amount of powder cocaine. Who do you think they were targeting?
African American.
And by the way, that's 1986, while the mayor is a Democrat targeting blacks. Again, bad policies have consequences. Who in the right mind is thinking about moving their families to D.C.? Who in the right mind is thinking about moving their families to San Francisco right now? Who in the right mind is saying, you know what, why don't we move our business to San Francisco? I don't know a lot of people that are thinking about that stuff. The best part that's going on right now, man, we finally have a few years to look at policies to say, damn, that shit didn't work. When you're in it and people are selling it, you may be like, well, maybe it does work. Let's wait and see if it works. Guess what? It didn't work. San Francisco failed miserably. D.C. failed miserably and continues to fail. They don't care about their community, what's going on over there. Anyways, so I love the fact that we're looking at these numbers and the flip side of it, Rob, if you want to pull up the least affordable city, go to the one.
Can I show you some numbers about D.C. real quick?
Let me go into the least affordable. I'll come back to D.C. To flip side of it, here's what happens when you have great policies, okay? Real estate is booming in Miami. Why do you think it is? Because people are moving there.
Yeah, 900 a day.
And it says it's not a good thing. Not if you're making under 60 grand a year and need some sort of affordable housing. They're right. However, guess why and what causes a city to increase pricing in homes? Because those types of people are showing up to your city. With the average income in mind, residents would have to sacrifice 80% of their monthly income to own such a home. LA comes in at a second. Number 2, with 77% of their income necessary to pay for purchase home. Oddly enough, Newark, New Jersey is third, but that's most likely due to New York City spillover.
Yeah, it's a
but
bedroom
post-pandemic, New York City itself is ironically ranked number 4, 70% needed. And then if you go lower, in 2021, 62% more people moving to Florida than moved out, with the state's population increasing by 2% in a single year. Miami's tax rate, with federal tax included, are about 10% lower than that of New York City resident. And a Manhattanee making $150,000 a year saves $50,000 just to relocate to Miami. Okay, and by the way, Orlando moved up 7 spots, just so you know, during the same exact time. What does this tell you? Bad policies causes you to lose great people. Great policies that DeSantis had in Florida causes you to gain great people. Very interesting concept. And bad policies attracts bad people. And when people say, what do you mean by bad? Those who are a net negative to society who want reparation checks, move to San Francisco. Those who say, I don't need you to give me any reparation checks. Just leave me the hell alone and let me build my life. Let me raise my kids. Those people are moving to places like Florida, Texas, Tennessee. It's great. It's a case study that's proven which policies attracts and produces results, and which policies attracts and produces trash. By the way, Newsom is the case study that's losing great people, gaining net negative people. DeSantis is the case study of gaining great people, losing net negative people. When Dwayne Wade said, we can no longer live in Florida, even though it's my home, and a lot of these people have my jersey on the walls. You believe transgenders should be able to decide to change their bodies
at 7, 8 years old.
At 8, 9 years old. Yeah, you believe that. Yeah, Florida, yeah, we don't think it's normal. Yeah. California does. Move over there. No problem. Do you mean to tell me that's a net negative to society? In a way of confusing the hell out of kids under the age of 18, yes, that's a net negative to society. I say yes to that. So, anyways, you were going to say some stats about D.C.?
Well, yeah, just to kind of give some credence to you. By the way, speaking of that crack epidemic and going on in D.C., where does Hunter Biden live these days? Oh, D.C. Yeah, there's crack out there. Who was the only mayor in our country's history to get arrested?
Oh, Marion Barry.
Marion Barry, the mayor of D.C.
Indicted Mayor Hall of Fame. He's number 1. He's on Mount Rushmore of indicted mayors.
Yeah,
his campaign thing. I will get the drugs off the street and into my nose. So it's like it was a great campaign.
This is the Rob. This is the stats on DC. Or, I'm sorry, of the highest. Go to 2020 census. Okay, yeah, scroll down a little bit. By the way, here are the counties where the median household income we were talking about. Look how many counties are in Virginia. Now, you know, they call that area around D.C. the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, all within, you know, a half-hour drive of D.C. Let's count how many are in Virginia, DMV area. Number 1, Loudoun County, Virginia.
Loudoun.
Number 2, Falls Church, Virginia. Then you got 3 and 4, which is California, no secret. Then you've got Fairfax County, we're all familiar with, in Virginia, so that's 3 out of the top 10. Then you got Maryland, Howard County, Maryland. Then you got Arlington County, Virginia. Then you have California. So 4 in the top 10 are all in the Virginia area. So when we find out where all this lobbyist money goes, all these slush funds go, all this waste, all this pork belly they talk about, right to lining the pockets of the people that work in D.C.
Well, and Amazon's second headquarters is now, I think it's 1/3 full now, and those are very high-paying jobs.
He helps, and we can thank AOC for that being in D.C. because it could have been elsewhere. So AOC, you're so amazing.
So great.
For helping those people.
But I actually applaud you for pointing this out because nobody talks about D.C. in this regard. We think of San Francisco's expensive, New York's expensive. Somehow D.C. is not exactly in that conversation. But it definitely should.
Hey, if you enjoyed this short clip, you want to watch the whole thing, click over here. But if you want to make 2023 the beginning of the greatest years of your life, I host a conference once a year. It's called the Vault Conference, where 3,000 CEOs, executive, entrepreneurs from around the world come together to strategize for 3.5 days. This year it's going to be at Miami Diplomat Resort. And the speakers this year is going to be Tom Brady. He'll be there. I'll be interviewing him. Mike Tyson, Will Guidara, the guy that ran 11 Madison in New York. If you run a business, if you're a CEO, entrepreneur, and executive, this is not an event you want to miss out on. Get yourself, your spouse, your business partner, your running mates registered, and I look forward to seeing you there. Click on the link here or see the link in the description, and I hope to spend 3.5 days with you in Miami in August and September. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.